it's Yoshie here, and welcome to the Spirit Inspired Life Show. And today we're going to be talking about 3 things we must give up to live a happier and more joyful life. And simply there are 3 main things, which if we are willing to let go of them, can bring much joy and happiness in our life. Many of us are willing to hold on to the very things that we know can cause frustration and stress for ourselves and others. And starting today, we can give up the things that no longer serve us and start living a much more joyful and freer and happier life. So here are the 3 things. And the first thing is letting go of being Mr. and Mrs. Always Right. And many close family ties and friendships are severed, and many hearts were broken because of our desire to always be right. And many of us cannot stand the idea of being wrong, and they do everything they can to prove that they're right at the cost of losing something very precious to them. If you have a tendency, simply ask yourself the following questions. Is it really worth it? What's the cost of trying to prove that others are wrong and that you are right? What do you actually gain from trying to always be right? And Dr. Wayne Dyer said, would I rather be right or would I rather be kind? And sometimes, let's say your family members or someone can be totally wrong about something that you did or you didn't do, and you have every right to be upset and defend yourself, and you feel like you'd rather be right than you'd rather be kind. But you'll soon realize that the harder you try to convince the person that they're wrong and that you're right, the more you become frustrated and even become furious about the situation and about the person. And soon you realize that you are simply wasting your time and your energy. Now, who hasn't experienced this, right? It's like you're trying to have a conversation with a person on the 2nd floor when you're on the 5th floor. Different perspective and different views and different levels of understanding and different levels of awareness and different energetic frequencies. And you try to convince the person on the 2nd floor from you being on the 5th floor is really, really hard. There will not be any converging point. And I'm not saying that the 5th floor is better than the 2nd floor, right? And it's up to personal preferences. But what I'm saying is different awareness level and different perspective make it difficult to trying to make things all right. And if you feel that you are trapped in this I have to be right mode, simply think of people like Nelson Mandela, or one of your favorite great spiritual leaders of the past who was misunderstood and punished for the good that they stood for. And perhaps they can give you peace and courage to stay strong and stay in your own power. Okay, so the second thing is saying goodbye to your limiting beliefs. Whether it's done consciously or unconsciously, many people tend to limit their creative power through negative self-talk. I cannot do it, it's impossible. And these are the exact words that destroy your dreams and keep you feeling frustrated and unhappy. What makes you so sure that what you really want is impossible for you to achieve? Now, have you given your 100% effort towards your dreams? Don't believe everything that your mind is telling you, especially if it's negative and self-defeating ones. So starting today, your new mantra is yes I can, and go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Okay, the third thing we must give up to live a happier life is to give up your need for control. Always trying to control everything and everyone in your life is a surefire way to get yourself depressed. Now, have you ever succeeded in controlling your loved ones or co-workers or events or situation without feeling stress or pain? And we cannot force a cat to fly like a bird, we can't force a rose to grow into a sunflower, right? And we cannot control others, but we can only control our reaction to what happens in our life. So give yourself the freedom to be you and step back and allow others to be on their own journey. They may be doing something wrong from our perspective, but they are on an important spiritual journey that will lead them to their soul growth. And this applies especially to raising our kids. And we parents want to save our kids from getting hurt, and we want to prevent our kids from going through the pain that we went through. So we want to tell our kids not to follow a certain path or paths of pain, and trying to do everything we can to prevent them from experiencing pain. But guess what happens? You know the answer if you're parents, right? The more you tell them not to do something, the more they will do the very things that you are trying to prevent them from doing. And we're not here to save our kids from pain. And sometimes we have to adopt tough love attitude. For when we allow them to go through pain and go through suffering, they're more likely to gain more compassion toward another human being. They will build caring and compassion muscles within them, and they may contribute positively to the world and the future. So let's make a commitment to ourselves to choose joy rather than stress by learning to let go of the things we just cannot control or change. So 3 things we must give up to be happier are: first thing is letting go of being Mr. and Mrs. Right, always right. So the second thing is to say goodbye to your limiting beliefs. And the third thing we talked about is to give up your need for control. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, and please subscribe. I wish you a fantastic weekend.